Houthi leaders ready to unleash missile and drone barrages on Israel as Middle East powder keg explodes? Armed with Iran-derived systems, could Yemen's Proxy fire Toofan missiles with ranges near 1,950 kilometers at US and Israeli targets? With 1,200 kilometers Zulfiqar ballistic missile and 2,000 kilometers Quds cruise missile, are Trump and Netanyahu ready for the Houthis' arsenal? As US bases burn and Iran's proxies arm up across multiple fronts, can US and Israel contain the scale of the upcoming carnage? As Iran launched missile and drone attacks on US bases across the Middle East, Yemen's Houthi movement issued a new warning of its own. The Iran-backed group declared it would resume strikes on Israel and on key maritime shipping routes in support of Tehran's response. The Times of Israel reported the move on February 28, citing two senior Houthi officials who spoke on condition of anonymity. One of those officials said the rebels' first renewed attack could come as soon as tonight, underscoring the immediacy of the threat. Analysts note that several of the missiles used by the Houthis are believed to be derived or adapted from Iranian designs and technology. Systems the Houthis could employ to hit US or Israeli-related targets include variants of the Toofan, Quds, and Zulfiqar missile families, according to open-source reporting. In 2016, Houthis used Iranian missiles to strike Emirati troop transport catamaran HSV-2 Swift. In 2019, US intercepted vessel in Arabian Sea smuggling Iranian-made arms to Yemen. This included a version of the Chinese C-802 anti-ship cruise missile. Iran had been producing 120-kilometer range C-802 domestically as the new. Iran had also developed it into 200-kilometer range Ghadar and 300-kilometer range Ghadir. Houthis later claimed their C-802s, named Al-Mandab 2, had a range of 300 kilometer. Houthis unveiled two anti-ship versions of Iranian Quds 351 missiles in 2022 and 2023. Based on the range of the original Quds, both systems could have a range of at least 800 kilometers. Houthis' 450-kilometer range ASEF appears to be a rebranded version of Iran's Fateh 313 or Khalij Fars. Tankal is believed to be anti-ship version of the IRGC-developed 500-kilometer range Zohair. The two designs constitute the heaviest Houthi anti-ship missiles. Both have warheads of over 300 kg. Three smaller anti-ship ballistic missiles include 140-kilometer range Falek, Mayun, and Bar Alama. They strongly resemble Iranian design philosophy. Houthis also presented an S-75 surface-to-air missile. The missile is likely from pre-war Yemeni army stocks. S-75 may have been modified for anti-ship role using Iranian guidance kit. Burkan 1 ballistic missile. Unveiled in 2016. The Burkan 1 is believed to be the Houthi version of Iran's Shahab 1 ballistic missile. It has an estimated range of up to 800 kilometers and carries a warhead of around 500 kilograms. Burkan 2 ballistic missile. Introduced a year later in 2017. The Burkan 2 closely mirrors Iran's Qiyam 1 design. This missile can reach targets up to 1,000 kilometers away and is fitted with a 250-kilogram payload. Burkan 3 Zulfiqar ballistic missile. Revealed in 2019. The Burkan 3, also referred to as Zulfiqar, appears to be derived from Iran's Qiyam and Rezvan systems. It offers a longer range of up to 1,200 kilometers, carrying a 250-kilogram warhead. Quds 4 cruise missile. Unveiled in 2019. The Quds 4 cruise missile aligns with Iran's Project 351 or Parvez design. It reportedly has a striking range of up to 2,000 kilometers, though its payload remains undisclosed. Qara ballistic missile. Revealed in 2022. The Qara is thought to resemble Iran's Fateh 110 missile. It has a maximum range of about 300 kilometers and carries a 500-kilogram payload. Haytham ballistic missile. The Haytham missile, unveiled in September 2022, is believed to be based on Iran's Kibar-Shikan system. It reportedly offers a range of up to 1,450 kilometers and carries a payload of around 500 kilograms. Toofan ballistic missile. First displayed in September 2023. The Toofan is seen as a variant of Iran's Shahab 3 missile. It boasts an extended range of up to 1,950 kilometers, with an 800-kilogram warhead capacity. This comes as the United States and Israel carried out joint air and missile strikes on military targets inside Iran on February 28. The coordinated attacks reportedly hit key military installations and missile infrastructure at several locations across Iran. Iranian media and regional outlets reported explosions in Tehran, Isfahan, Karaj, and Kermanshah as the strikes unfolded. Smoke was seen rising from a district in Tehran that includes the Presidential Palace and National Security Council buildings, according to local reports. Iranian outlets claimed that the strikes killed or wounded thousands of members of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. US President Donald Trump vowed to decimate Iran's military and eliminate its nuclear program as part of the wider campaign. Trump also stated that he sought to bring about a change in Iran's government, signaling an explicit regime change objective.
It has always been the policy of the United States, in particular, my administration, that this terrorist regime can never have a nuclear weapon. I'll say it again, they can never have a nuclear weapon. That is why in Operation Midnight Hammer last June, we obliterated the regime's nuclear program at Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan. After that attack, we warned them never to resume their malicious pursuit of nuclear weapons, and we sought repeatedly to make a deal. We tried. They wanted to do it. They didn't want to do it. Again, they wanted to do it. They didn't want to do it. They didn't know what was happening. They just wanted to practice evil. But Iran refused, just as it has for decades and decades. They've rejected every opportunity to renounce their nuclear ambitions, and we can't take it anymore. Instead, they attempted to rebuild their nuclear program and to continue developing long-range missiles that can now threaten our very good friends and allies in Europe, our troops stationed overseas, and could soon reach the American homeland. Just imagine how emboldened this regime would be if they ever had and actually were armed with nuclear weapons as a means to deliver their message. For these reasons, the United States military is undertaking a massive and ongoing operation to prevent this very wicked, radical dictatorship from threatening America and our core national security interests. We are going to destroy their missiles and raise their missile industry to the ground. It will be totally, again, obliterated. We're going to annihilate their Navy. We're going to ensure that the region's terrorist proxies can no longer destabilize the region or the world and attack our forces and no longer use their IEDs or roadside bombs, as they are sometimes called, to so gravely wound and kill thousands and thousands of people, including many Americans. And we will ensure that Iran does not obtain a nuclear weapon. It's a very simple message. They will never have a nuclear weapon. This regime will soon learn that no one should challenge the strength and might of the United States Armed Forces.
In response, Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps announced missile strikes on the US Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar and Al Salem Air Base in Kuwait. Additional Iranian missiles were reported to have targeted the US Al Dhafra Air Base in the United Arab Emirates and a major American facility in Bahrain. Iranian missile salvos also struck areas in northern Israel, forcing residents into bomb shelters as air raid sirens sounded across multiple communities.